The data do not support the conclusion that the biblical canon was either discussed or determined at the Council of Nicea. Hey everybody, I'm Dan McClellan. I'm a scholar of the Bible and religion, and Dan Brown is probably the primary popularizer of the notion that the biblical canon was determined at the Council of Nicea, but he is not the originator of that idea. There are actually a few different points in history when that idea has bubbled to the surface. It probably starts with Jerome, the translator of the Vulgate, about 80 years after the Council of Nicea. When he translated the book of Judith for the Vulgate, he wrote in a prologue that the book of Judith was found by the Council of Nicea to be among the Holy Scriptures. And this doesn't necessarily mean that they debated it and then arrived at a formal decision about this. It could just mean that someone at the council proclaimed that, or that they recognized that it was already considered Holy Scripture in talking about something else, or it could just be a rumor that was spreading. It's not definitive evidence, but that's the earliest evidence we have for this idea that the biblical canon was discussed at Nicea. Then we have a legend that comes from about 900 CE that's written in a text called the Synodicon Vadus, and this is an account of the different councils and synods of the Christian church all the way up to around like 880 CE. And this account was transmitted in a handwritten manuscript until it was published in around 1600. And this account explains that they stacked all the books of Scripture on a table, and then God caused all of the apocryphal books to fall off the table to the ground, leaving only what was considered Holy Scripture. So that's a medieval legend associated with this idea that the biblical canon was determined at Nicea. And then we have Voltater, who's also taking this up. In critiquing Christianity, he frequently used the claim that ecclesiastical councils like Nicea established the biblical canon in order to arrogate political power and control. Now, we have a number of different accounts of the Council of Nicea from people who attended it, and none of them mention discussion of, much less determination of, the biblical canon. And really, the biblical canon was formalized toward the end of the 4th century and into the 5th century CE by folks like Athanasius of Alexandria and others. So historically, it doesn't make much sense that anything about the canon was determined by the Council of Nicea. We don't have anything in the historical records from those who attended that suggest that. All we have are these rumors that come up with Jerome, this legend from around 900 CE, and then Voltaire spreading this. And I don't know where Dan Brown got the idea from, but he's the one who's probably popularized it the most in the modern world, and then it gets picked up by internet conspiracy theorists. And so if you're not paying close attention and thinking critically about these things, you too might have been fooled by this notion that they determined the biblical canon at the Council of Nicea, and they did not. And the fit for this video has been the man without fear.